The term oceanic feeling is best known from the work of Sigmund Freud. And for Freud, it means a kind of dissolution of an individual's boundaries. So you have the feeling of limitlessness, of boundlessness, of belonging to the whole world. For Freud, the oceanic part of oceanic feeling is a metaphor. It has nothing to do with the actual ocean. So for this program, I was interested in literalizing that metaphor. So trying to think about how that concept of oceanic feeling might actually be articulated through cinematic representations of the sea. I felt that looking at the production of a lot of artist films in the last 15 years or so, there are a lot of really strong works that have been made in relation to the ocean, looking at questions of labor, ecology, the specificity of certain local environments or habitats. And then I started to think about how actually the motif of the sea is something that runs throughout the history of cinema, right back to the Lumiere in 1895. So I started to research different ways that the ocean had been represented across the history of cinema, with special attention to the traditions of documentary and also artist film.
3日に一度、モドウから漁師は船で出て行く。もっぱら水俣湾の汚染魚を取り処理する仕事のためである。水俣の漁は今見ることがない。そのためか、むしろ湾内の魚は増えていると言われる。
I noticed that there are sort of 4 or 5 main clusters or themes that we find in ways that the sea has been conceptualized. There's the sea of wonder and mystery and fascination that we find in the films of the surrealists or in films that deal with underwater cinematography, like Jacques Cousteau's Le Monde du Silence. Then we have many films about the work of the sea, so salt mining or fishing. Then there's the sea of colonialism and of transatlantic slavery, so the idea that the ocean is actually a kind of historical archive of death and struggle and violence. And then lastly, I was interested in looking at the sea of global circulation. So actually, the internet functions through cables that run under the ocean. And we also have, over 90% of trade in the world is conducted through maritime routes. So these are the different sort of themes that I explored first in the book and then which also carry over into the program here. I mean, there's a sense that the project has a very personal connection for me because I grew up in Newfoundland, which is an island off the coast of Canada, where the culture is absolutely, absolutely bound to the sea. But I think, there's something completely seductive about images of the ocean, the sense of light and movement that cinema can portray really, really powerfully. So on the one hand, there's a great beauty, but on the other hand, there's a sense that this is a space that asks us to think about history and politics and ecological responsibility in very pressing ways. So I think for me, there was something really special about that doubleness. On the one hand, something very moving and beautiful, and on the other hand, something that's very politically urgent.
I think the noblest sea that Turner has ever painted, and if so, the noblest ever painted by man, is that of the slave ship.
I don't think there's any special or prescribed way for them to approach these films. I think the films are very, very strong in their own right, completely on their own, outside of how they function within the overall program. But I hope that across the 6 screenings, people will get a sense of both the different sort of formal languages that have been used to approach the ocean, but also the vast array of different meanings that the ocean takes on throughout the history of cinema. Having grown up on an island, I can definitely say that the ocean divides, absolutely, and can create a feeling of isolation and remoteness. But certainly the premise of an oceanic feeling, the concept, and then also the book and the program is about connection, right? So this idea that the ocean provides a figure of thought that is about connectivity and flow and relationality rather than about individualism and atomization, which are, of course, such prominent parts, unfortunately, of our culture today.